Hey everyone, and welcome to What the Tech. This is where we cut right through the noise to get you the tech news you can actually use. All right, let's just jump right in because we've got some bombshell news that dropped this week. OpenAI is killing its viral video app, Sora. Yeah, the one that blew up everywhere for letting you put yourself into these wild AI-generated videos. And that's the big question, isn't it? I mean, why would they shut down a hit app? On the surface, it makes absolutely no sense. That thing was a total sensation. But, and this is the key, the real story here isn't actually about failure. It's a really fascinating peek into the brutal priorities of the current AI race. So to really get why they do this, you have to understand something crucial. The biggest players in AI right now, they're fighting a high-stakes war. And it's not just a war for users, it's a war for the actual fundamental resources that make AI even possible. And right now, the single most critical resource is something called compute. Just think of it like raw, brute force computer power. We're talking about those high-end chips. See, all the top AI companies are facing a massive shortage of these things, which they need for both research and just to run their products. And guess what? Sora was an absolute beast when it came to eating up that compute. Okay, so this really lays it all out. This shows the tough choice OpenAI was facing. On one hand, you've got this super popular kind of experimental app. But on the other hand, you have their core priorities, raising money, getting their hands on those precious chips, and focusing on big business clients, the ones that bring in steady, long-term cash, not like the up-and-down consumer market. They basically decided to sacrifice a hit app to protect the whole mothership. So let's dig into Sora's story. Because its journey from being on top of the world to getting the axe, well, it happened incredibly fast. So the model itself first showed up in early 2024. But the app, that launched in September of 2025, and boom, it was an instant phenomenon. Get this, it hit 1 million downloads even faster than ChatGPT did. OpenAI was seriously hoping this was going to be the start of a whole new AI-powered social network. But that hype, it did not last. Just a few months after that explosive launch, downloads just fell off a cliff. We're talking a staggering 45% drop as the novelty, just started to wear off. Hey, just a quick pause here. If you're getting something out of us cutting through all the spin to get you the real story, do us a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. And definitely tell us what you think in the comments. It really helps us know we're on the right track. Now, that 45% drop, it wasn't just a number on a chart. It had massive, real-world consequences. Specifically, it caused the collapse of a planned $1 billion investment that was tied directly to the app's success. And who was that billion-dollar partner? None other than Disney. Yep, they had a massive deal cooking to license over 200 of their characters for people to use in Sora. But with the app tanking, that deal is now officially dead. And just to be clear, no money ever actually changed hands. So let's put it all together. You've got a billion-dollar deal that's vanished, an app that's losing steam but is still gobbling up tons of that precious compute power. So OpenAI made a hard call. And you have to see, killing the Sora app isn't just about cutting a failing product. No, it's a really important piece of a much bigger, very deliberate strategic shift that's happening inside the company right now. I mean, they've literally reshuffled their top executives. You can see right here that things like safety and security have been handed off to other execs. Why? So that the CEO, Sam Altman, can focus 100% of his energy on just two things: raising a ton of money and locking down more of that critical computing power. And this right here, this perfectly shows their new direction. The team that built Sora, they're not getting fired, not at all. Instead, they're being refocused. They're taking everything they learned from simulating video and are now using it to build something called world models. Think of them as these super complex simulations of reality. And the goal? To train actual physical robots to do things in the real world. So what's the big takeaway here? For all of us watching this AI space so closely, what does this whole move really mean? Well, for one, it shows the AI race is really entering a new phase. It's not so much about the cool, flashy demos for consumers anymore. It's about securing those foundational resources, the money and the chips, to survive the long haul. It's also a pretty stark reminder that going viral doesn't mean a thing if it doesn't line up with your main strategy. And that means the focus is shifting away from fun little consumer apps to the much harder, much more valuable work of foundational research and big-time enterprise solutions. That's where the real money and stability is. And that leaves us with one final thought. You have to ask yourself, is this OpenAI retreating from a mistake? Is this a sign of weakness as their competitors catch up? Or is this actually a brilliant, calculated pivot? A smart move to cut a costly distraction so they can double down on what will actually help them win the AI war? We'd love to know what you think about it.